In this video, I will show you how to use the projector system in our auditorium. First thing you want to do is come over to this main hub. If you want to use a projector and the projector screen, you're going to press presentation mode. That will automatically turn on the projector and it will lower the projector screen, as you can see here. That takes a minute to lower and the projector to turn on. While you're doing that, you can go ahead and plug in your computer. There's 4 connections here. One is audio in, that's just going to give you audio. That's a standard headphone jack. One is USB in, that's only going to give you video. Over here is PC in, that's only going to give you video. And then HDMI in, that's the recommended port to use because that's going to give you video and audio, and it's going to be the clearest picture and clearest audio. So we have an HDMI cable that lives in the auditorium or in this sound booth, so please keep it in here. We plug that into our HDMI in, and then plug the other end of it into our HDMI port on our laptop. Now, the next step, as you can see, I've got everything plugged in, but I don't have any picture. So the next thing to do is to make sure over here on this control panel that booth HDMI is selected down here. So I'm going to push that. Now I have booth laptop connection selected, and now I have my picture and audio. We also have a computer screen in here. It just duplicates whatever's on the projector screen. It's not necessary. If it bothers you, you can simply turn it off by pushing that power button there, and it's off and it won't bother you, but it doesn't change anything about the projection. Next thing is I'm going to push this button that says press to use basic audio. Right now it's set up to use the mixing console, and I don't want to use that. It's too much. It's too much of a headache, too stressful. Let's keep things simple. So I'm going to press to use the basic audio. I'm going to push that yellow button, and now I'm using my basic audio. Or my basic mixer, which is this, all controlled on this screen. So the program volume, that's the volume of your laptop. You can mute it, turn it down, turn it up. Pretty straightforward. Now, if you're going to use a microphone, you're going to want to select mics down here. Notice when you select that, it doesn't change anything about what you're projecting. So we have 4 wireless mics on this page, and if we push more, we have 4 more wireless mics. But as of right now, we only have 4 wireless mics. So you're only going to use this front screen. And so same controls. We can turn the volume up, we can turn it down, or we can mute the microphones. The microphones themselves live down here in this top drawer. So we push that down and then pull that drawer out. And there's 4 wireless mics in here. They're handheld wireless microphones. They look like this. And you can see they're labeled. This one is labeled wireless 1. And to turn it on, simply flip this switch up and it will turn on. And it'll show you the battery level. And now I get audio with my microphone through the sound system. If you need it to be turned up or turned down, you simply control it here. And like I said, you can use up to 4 wireless mics at the same time. That way you're not passing mics from one person to another. 4 people can have their own handheld mics. If the battery level is running low, and this is not low, 4 out of 5 bars is great. That's going to last quite some time. But if you did get a microphone that was low on battery, you can use these. These are used batteries. They were used for one play performance of our musical production. So they're not dead batteries, but they're not brand new. So they'll still last quite a bit of time. And the way that you change those batteries out is you unscrew this bottom portion of the microphone where it says wireless 1. Let me do that real quick. Sorry. So you unscrew that and it exposes the batteries down here. And I'm going to lift this panel here that holds the batteries in place, take those out, put the new ones in, push that down and lock it in place. Then this slides back onto the microphone, and we screw it back together, and the batteries are replaced. So simple as that. That's how you use the projector system. So you get the audio from the HDMI as well. So when I push play, I've got my audio. If I need more volume from that, I simply come over here and turn the volume up here. Troubleshooting tips. If you're not getting audio from your computer, check to make sure your computer audio isn't muted or turned down too low. Generally, I tell people to turn their volume all the way up. I tell them to turn the volume all the way up, and then I can control how loud or soft it should be from here and not have to worry about the computer being too soft. Other troubleshooting. There's not really much that can go wrong with the microphones. Just if you're not getting sound from the microphones, check and make sure it's not muted. It will light up red if it is muted. So just check that and turn the volume up or down. Also, if you're not getting audio, check to make sure it's on basic audio. So if it says press to use mixing console, you're good. But if you push that, now it's using the mixing console to control the audio for the computer and for microphones. So you'd have to use the mixing console if that were the case. So just make sure that you use basic audio. Now to turn one more troubleshooting tip. Again, if stage laptop is selected, you're not going to get picture. If any of these other settings, camera, Blu-ray, booth CD, or stage CD is selected, camera or Blu-ray, if those are selected, you're not going to get your computer picture. So make sure that booth laptop is selected. And then you should be good. So it's pretty basic. So that keeps things from getting too complicated and creating too many problems for you. So it's much easier to use. Now, when you're finished, very simple. All you have to do when you're done, make sure the microphone gets put back into one of those pouches on the bottom drawer. Again, push down and then pull open and put it back in its pouch. And then zip it up, please, which I will spare you that. Just zip it up and then leave all of this alone. Everything else stays as is. Simply push system shutdown and then confirm. The projector turns off. The screen retracts. Unplug your computer and you're good to go. The only other thing that we ask is that you make sure these windows are closed. You simply slide it over and put the lock pin up at the top just to make sure that nobody is going to try to open it from the outside and come in. If you did use the mixing console, I would ask that you put this cover back on. Keep the dust down. We also have this, I forgot to mention this, we also have this clicker that you are welcome to use with your computer. All you have to do is slide this USB out, plug it into your computer USB, give it a second to install, and once it installs, which you don't have to do anything to install it, once it installs, then you use the arrows to go forward in your slides and backwards in your slides. Simple as that. Also has this laser pointer, so if you needed to use that. So pretty straightforward, but when you finish with this, just make sure you turn it off. Now it's off, and if you need it, turn it on. Simple as that. Then put that up here. It lives up on top of there so people can find it easily. So once you're finished and you put this remote back, you've hit system shutdown. The last thing to do is to make sure the windows are closed and locked, and then come over here and turn off any lights that you have turned on. This is the main light control, so that's going to turn our fluorescent lights on or off. We also have work lights above the sound and light boards. So if you want the lights to be a little more dim back here, use these white light switches. And they also have fade control on it. So if you want them brighter, they can get very, very, very bright. Or you can bring the brightness down a bit so that it's not blinding you back here. And it's also not bleeding into our audience as well. So make sure those lights are turned off. And then as you exit, make sure the stage light is turned off. Any other lights that are on, make sure those are turned off. Turn that main light switch off. Come out here and make sure this door is locked. Close the door behind you. It's locked up. Then you can turn your house lights off and you're good to go.